Hi there, I'm back, and today I'm going to do a special video. Special because it was a request by one of my viewers recently that asked if I've ever made coconut butter in my Oster Pro 1200, and believe it or not, with all the things I have blended in this blender, coconut butter was not one of them. I think I've eaten coconut butter maybe once or twice in my life. I go through a ton of coconut oil. I love to use coconut itself in my baking and cookies and lots of other things, and smoothies, granola, all of that stuff. But I've never actually made butter. So I know from experience using it, it's very, very thick, or can be anyway. I think it depends on the brand you buy. So I did watch a few other videos about it and looked up some recipes, and just to make sure I'd use the correct type of coconut. And you want to buy, or the best thing or the healthiest thing to get is the shredded coconut that is unsweetened. It has has nothing added to it. I've heard different things from different people. Some people say make sure it's undesiccated. Other people use desiccated. Desiccated means it's been dried out, so I'm not sure what undesiccated coconut is. But so I'm going to try this today, and let's see how it comes out. So I'm going to just, what I did see as a general comment from a lot of people, a lot of videos that I watched on this particular thing to make in your blender or your food processor is, it's hard to make a really small amount because it'll get trapped under the blades and you don't have enough to like keep the mixture moving around. So I have filled my jar. Let me scan up so you can see it. I filled my jar at least halfway up. Okay, so let's get this started and see what we can come up with in the way of coconut butter. Pardon my reach. I have a new tripod and it's got really long legs and it's hard to reach around. All right, so let's get this going. Okay, for me, I know my blender well now, that squeal means that it's run out of things. It's run out of stuff to grind down at the blades. From what other videos I've watched, I've noticed too that this is a lot like a nut butter, like almond butter and things, that may take more than just a few minutes to get to the consistency that you want. So, well, butter consistency specifically. So we're just going to keep blending this and see how long it takes to get to this consistency. Okay, I did pause the video for a few minutes just to let it go because it would have been boring as all get out with me blending and then stopping and blending and stopping. But here I can show you, it does look like it's starting to break down beyond the dry flaked coconut stage. Oops, sorry. It does seem to be getting a little moist too, a little more moist. It is a little on the stiff side, so I've actually had a better I'm sorry, I'm putting my elbow in the shot here. Sorry about that. I do have a little easier time loosening it up way down by the blades using the handle of my wooden spoon rather than the spoon end. So it just sort of gets everything out of there. So I'm going to continue to blend. Okay, I just did a little more blending during the pause, and you can see now, I hope my hand's not in the way, but it's definitely getting moister. It's starting to clump. So we're going to keep going with this, and I'll come back when we have butter. So sit tight. Okay, we're almost there, I think. I'm going to try to talk over the noise of the blender, but I don't know, let me zoom in. You can see it turning to butter. I don't know if you can see that turning down in here. It is becoming butter. Yay! But it's taken a good 10 to 15 minutes total time to get it there, and I just kept pausing the video so that I could stop and stir, because it's literally every minute and a half of blending, you'd have to stop it and redistribute everything. And I didn't want to bore you with 15 minutes of digging around in my blender. But it looks like it's finally turning into butter. It looks like, yeah, I can see something soft and liquidy kind of moving around. Let's take a look. Sorry for yelling. Let's take a look. And like I said before, when you go in there to redistribute, when it's at that really thick, stodgy stage where it's in big, thick clumps, use the handle of your wooden spoon or whatever tool you're using. Make sure it's something really stiff and rigid like a wooden spoon rather than the spoon end. It'll just get down all the way to the floor of your blender a little bit better than the wide end. You might be missing spots. Oh, does that smell good? Well, here it is. I imagine I could probably keep that going until it really smooths out, but I want to see just what we've got here. Oh my goodness, look at that. It did work. I was a little worried for a while there in the beginning because my blender was making all kinds of strange noises, but that was because the mixture was getting thick. So, but here, look at how, I hope you can see that, how glossy it is. And you can see it moving. It's running down the spoon a little bit. So I'd say we're there. But you know what? I'm going to take it just a little bit further, see if I can get just a little bit smoother. But ooh, it has, you can hear it. It has that very similar texture to homemade peanut butter. I suppose you could sweeten this if you wanted to, maybe with a little bit of honey or whatever or stevia, whatever the sweetener of your choice may be. Okay. I'm going to let that go just another minute or so and see if I can get it just a little bit smoother. And I actually, once this finally broke through that dry, sticky stage, I put it on medium instead of high. And the reason being is because you'd make that little, that little channel that happens with real thick substances like nut butters, and nothing was getting into the blades. So if I kept it at medium, things kept falling in and got caught up in the blades and got going into that butter stage a little bit better. So I'm going to put it back on medium and just let it run for about a minute. Okay, I'm not sure how long it was, but it was maybe a minute, maybe just shy of a minute. But yeah, the glass is starting to get a little warm, but I'd say we now have coconut butter. How about that? Let me back up just a little bit. Yeah, we have coconut butter. Look at that. Isn't that nice? So I'd say that's a success. And I'm just going to pour it into a bowl. As usual, wasn't totally prepared, so. All right. my trusty KitchenAid spoonula, my spatula just for the blender. I love this thing. It's the only appliance I actually use it for. I don't even use it for cooking per se. It's just great to get down and around the blender blades. All right. So look at that. We have coconut butter. So I think more than anything, this takes a little bit of patience, just like making any other nut butter homemade. However, I will say this is a lot easier to get out of the blender than like peanut butter, and especially almond butter. Almond butter tends to be a bit stiff, especially if you put any kind of sweetener in it. And it doesn't seem to matter what kind. If it's honey, molasses, straight up table sugar, it doesn't seem to matter if it's a liquid form or a granulated form. It makes the butter seize up for some reason. So there you go. There is my homemade coconut butter. Look at how soft and liquidy it is. Look at that. You could pour that so easily. All right, so that was a really nice success. Homemade coconut butter, unsweetened, unsulfured, in the Pro 1200 blender. I hope this was helpful to any of you that wanted to know if this blender could handle it. It definitely could. Just stop it every minute and a half to redistribute. Lets your motor rest and cool just a little bit, and you can redistribute the coconut so it can continue to blend successfully. So if you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up and have a great day. Bye-bye.